actually...
Nookies.
Dang. You know, I had it open and then I had to close it. Let me look here.
As long as it's not Dagon, I'm fine.
There's a Dahak and let's see here, a Shock the Annihilator. Oh, I guess it is all Dahak. They're all priests of Dahak, and they're all like ancient or adult or elder dragons. So they're all pretty serious business, and they have class levels. And they're not like PC clerics that are all like, yes, I'm a cleric, I can do magic. They're like thunder, brimstone. They'll sit down and lecture you for like 40 days because they're a dragon, and 40 days for them is like a second. They're out to save your soul and make sure that you know that Dahak is the one true God.
Oh God!
I fill the party in on the pantheon of the area.
So, other than
These
trying...
folks are very serious about dragons, and if you want to talk to them about it, reserve quite a bit of time, where they will want to lecture you for hours.
Yeah. I make sure to get a slash, like a sash to cover up my tattoo. Because I don't feel like being lecturing hard.
Are wyverns classed as dragons, though?
They are dragon types, but they are not a dragon. For instance, you would not say that they're a fire dragon. Even if they could spit fire, they're like lesser... They're kind of like... more.
They're not true dragons.
They're Morlocks of dragons. You know, they're kind of like dragons that are brutal and savage, and they're not really full dragons. Like Morlocks are like humans, but they're brutal and savage. Not to be Morlock racist. That's just how they are. That came out really racist.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, would attacking a wyvern be considered attacking a dragon? Are they that?
They are a dragon type, so
they're bonded that close.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a dragonbane weapon, it would work on a wyvern.
Okay.
I mean, and this guy is supposed to be an ambassador of sorts, so it's either get lectured or be destroyed because you're running.
Well, that was my next question, is other motivations. I mean,
Or maybe we can convince him that we're already devout worshippers of Dahak, and we're going to spread his wisdom in the human colonies.
Great, lie to the dragon.
yeah, good luck with that.
I think
Wow.
one of you might have a shot at it. Maybe
Let's
that's
do
right,
it.
Genki has a good one.
Wow, that could never go bad.
This is
Wow.
a thing that is bigger than our ship. Do you have another suggestion?
It's not bigger, just to be clear.
It's big enough to sit on our ship and squash it.
It's almost wide enough. It's almost as wide as your ship, but it's definitely nowhere near as long.
But it has a wingspan that's as long.
Oh yeah,
You
definitely.
said it was big enough to lift our ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that qualifies as don't mess with it. So,
Well, people can lift cars, but
wow.
really strong people. But yeah.
Actually, you get like a dozen people, they can just turn a Fiat around. Just lift it completely off the ground.
There is a
Suggestions?
possibility for a spell to give a creature the ability to lift many times its carrying capacity.
Oh, wow, that's terrifying. A dragon with an haul. That is now going to happen. It's not this particular creature, but I'm going to make that happen. Just have like a dragon courier service that just lifts buildings up and puts them in new places.
Can't imagine what you'd have to pay a dragon for employment.
Bahamut's moving services.
Giant pile of glittering gold.
All right, so options, you guys. Apparently,
So,
we can't run.
Do we know if wyverns are quite as treasure happy as their dragon kindred?
Not as. They're more gem based. They like gem currency.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's check the hold and see what we have as an offering to Dahak, preferably rubies.
Fresh meat is also will satisfy their cravings.
But it's not like you have a Pathfinder Chronicle named Rye on board with 500 gold pieces of artisanally dried, seasoned prosciutto.
Yeah,
Because
I
who
don't
doesn't
think you wanted
prepare
to work.
that much prosciutto?
And
Oh, no.
who is a vegetarian on top of
Yeah,
that?
he's a vegetarian carrying around 500 gold pieces worth of dried meat.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can we pull out Brandon's sausage witch?
Nope, never. I hate that so bad. I still get comments about that sausage witch on the YouTube. People are like, "Oh, this sausage witch is so funny." No, it's not funny.
Tater's gonna hate.
I am a hater, and I will hate it.
Tater's gonna hate.
This cat keeps attacking me. I know you can't see it, but it's happening.
I mean, all else fails. Commodore Ferris and I are pretty adept at deceiving others.
What do you mean
Okay.
if all else fails? That's our plan A.
Bribe the
Play-
dragon.
Then what is our plan B? We're all
She
roasted.
whistles quietly and puts the dagger back behind her back.
Uh,
I'm kind of at a loss, y'all.
We talk to the dragon.
Plan
There's
A
not a
is
lot of
flattery
meat
and bribery.
on Storm's
Plan
bottle.
B is feeding it.
Yep. All right,
And-
so our loot list doesn't look like it has any gems remaining, does it?
I mean, would it be... I don't think we got any specific gems from any of the plunder.
I
Well, of
thought
course,
we
then
had-
again,
I thought we
plunder's
had
plunder.
gems. from
No,
that.
we got some gems. We got Master Destiny Force when I assassinated him in my failed attempt.
Whoa. It was not assassination.
Sorry.
That was euthanasia.
Euthanasia.
You got 4 onyx.
There were some gems acquired.
Is that
That's what I'm
euthanasia
about
when
to
he
say.
doesn't want you to do it to him?
Well, to be fair, he did ask him to do it. He just didn't want it.
Please feed me. Please feed me. No. Aw.
You have passed the trial.
Yeah, I listened to a 30-minute NPR episode about euthanasia before that, so that's why I was so willing. Influenced me. Anyways,
NPR.
Well, we're talking to the dragon.
So you are
Right.
talking to the dragon.
Well,
Seems
by
like-
me, well, we talking to a dragon. Ferris is talking to the dragon.
Hmm.
Ferris and Ninja, probably. Got the highest bluff scores of the team.
I think it's likely
Okay.
it's just demanding passage. I mean,
We'll find out when we talk to it. Look at.
So looking over your loot list real quick, you do have the necklace, some onyx, and some diamond dust
Would it want the necklace?
at the bottom. It's made out of platinum, so
It's not diamond.
What about a silver greatsword? Would it want that?
who wants a silver greatsword?
I mean, silver's kind of a precious metal,
But a silver greatsword deals less damage than normal.
but it has a greater chance to hit. And damage to lycanthropes.
We're a shark army.
It's a gigantic wyvern. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have very much problem damaging lycanthropes.
Alright.
Alright, so you pull to a stop, and after a few hundred yards, the ship eventually weighs in. And after a few minutes, the wyvern catches up and kind of circles you guys a few times, and then starts speaking in Draconic. Does anyone understand it?
Did she take it? No.
I know Genji did not take it.
the heck's my bottom? My
Stormy Bottles, do you have any idea what he's saying?
really all this and nobody's going to understand Draconic.
I'm looking that up now. I saved everything in my macros, and so I closed out my character sheet, but I forgot my languages. Let's see.
Ah, there we go. No, Dwarven Common Giant. I had one pick and it wasn't Dragon.
I'm pretty sure Draconic is on the short list for elves.
Okay, so the dragon circles over you guys, and it just goes, Yen wa fa ruvizuen tre hai tinuktova.
Well, I'd give linguistics a shot then.
Okay.
No, honestly, I did take it. I just had to open up my character
You
sheet.
did take it?
Yep.
Okay, so the dragon is greeting you very formally in Draconic. It says, "Hail to the captain. Do you speak Draconic?"
I step forward and bow to it and say in common, "Greetings, Great Wyvern. We are honored by your presence. Sadly, I do not speak Draconic, but what if my crew can translate if needed?"
I was just going to volunteer myself
Okay.
as a translator.
Yeah, but we want to see if he speaks common.
So, the dragon looks at you, Bottles, and it does the dragon equivalent of raising an eyebrow. You know, they don't have an eyebrow, but it kind of moves its shoulder and raises a wing towards you, which only you are going to understand because you're the only one who knows, like, their language and culture. And he's like, "Do you wish to negotiate with me yourself rather than your foolish captain who would sail these waters without knowledge of my language?"
My captain speaks for all. My commodore speaks for all of us. I say that in Draconic.
Okay. And he says, "Interesting." He says, "I have no record of a ship such as yours passing through the area. What fleet do you sail under?"
I translate.
This is the flagship of the Dolphin Fleet. By marriage, I'm a captain, but we have only recently formed, which is why you have perhaps not heard of any of the fleet members.
So he looks at you for a moment and he's like, "Did you bring the proper offerings to Dahak? The taxation for passing through our waters?"
I regret my ignorance, O mighty Wyvern. I know that the Endless desires destruction above all else, but what would he accept as a gift for passage?
Did you say the Endless?
Yeah,
We're talking about Dahak, right?
that's one of his names.
Okay. So he's like, "Excellent. You are a worshipper of Dahak, then."
I have not been inducted fully into his mysteries, but I seek to gather knowledge of many gods that I may place my allegiance properly.
Okay, all right. Can you make a diplomacy check to back that one up?
33.
Okay, so he says,
Whoa. Thanks.
May I assist in my translation?
"Oh, absolutely. If you want to assist with either diplomacy or linguistics or even knowledge local to get the culture right, any of those." Oh, you guys just blow it out of the water. You're smooth talking this wyvern, and he actually starts dragon laughing, and the whole ship is shaking in the process because he's moved from being on deck to like circling around one of your masts, and like he's resting his head on top of one of the crow's nests now, and he's like, "Ha! You are respectful for tiny mortal ones. Many who sail through these waters simply throw their jewels in the water and sail by. I appreciate your honeyed words." And he has like this very tiny, handy haversack around his neck. And he pulls out with one of his enormous claws, he like pulls out a holy symbol of Dahak and puts it on the deck. And he's like, "I will leave this here for you. I will need your offering to Dahak now. Any baubles of a few hundred gold pieces will do. I will mark your tax credit down. You will not need to pay again for 1 year."
It's a bargain.
I bow respectfully to the symbol and give him 2 of the onyxes, so that would be 500 gold pieces.
Okay. He looks very impressed, and he puts the onyxes like he's got to clutch them between like 3 claws and then stuff them into his neck. Handy haversack, which is like smaller than his eye. Yes, for those asking, yes, that is Ket trolling me right now in the chat, and yes, he did manage to kill my my necromancer who was riding a zombie wyvern.
Hi, Cat.
Yep.
Keep Ket alive.
So yeah, the dragon actually kind of gives you guys the dragon version of a bow, and then your whole ship like gets pushed 5 feet deeper into the water as he like launches himself into the air. He like jumps up, your ship like splashes down, waves are going everywhere, and then he unfurls his wings and uses his wingspan to like push your ship forward. And you get back on our way to Port Peril, which you arrive at the next morning.
I come out of the crow's nest. It's like, wow, that was interesting.
That worked all day to get together too well. It's kind of scary.
We didn't die. That's a good thing.
So who's taking the silver holy symbol of Dahak? And is anyone openly wearing it?
Just nail it to the
I
mast.
take the silver holy symbol of the hawk. As far as room on the ship, is there a little spare space that we can set aside for religious observances?
If you'll remember, this ship is actually overstocked with crew members, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
You managed to narrow it out, but the ship is still kind of packed. You could certainly set it up on, like, the forecastle or something. The very front end of the ship.
Well, I figure we can display the hawk. We can... Do we have anything of Besmara left other than the tricorn? And did she actually give you a holy symbol or anything?
No.
Well, when I'm in port, I'm going to pick up a holy symbol of Besmara and 1 or 2 of the other most popular gods.
Sounds wise. Will you pick one up for Gazra?
Wait.
Well,
we
did we take the paladin's holy symbol when we?
That was not a paladin of Gazra. If you remember, you guys looted an entire village's religious ceremony of Gazra.
I forget who did what to.
That was a paladin of Regathiel.
Did we take the Regathiel holy symbol when we shanked his paladin?
I believe you did. I don't
All
know
right.
It's listed here.
If we have not sold it, we will put up the Regathiel, and if we did not sell all the Gazra loot, which I think we did, we will put up a holy symbol of Gazra.
Oh, you sold all the Gazra loot. That's gone.
I was curious if we are still keeping that wedding dress, or if you're going to go on a shopping spree for your upcoming wedding.
Well, the wedding already happened.
I've already been married.
Oh, I'm
Little
sorry.
late.
I missed the ceremony.
It was a ceremony of spitting in hands and shaking.
Wasn't really much of a ceremony, really.
Because I remember we found that
Well,
wedding dress
Bart,
back
you were
in
there
book
for.
1.
Oh.
So, you guys sail into Port Peril while you're making decisions about the wedding dress. And as you can see, there's 3 different pierings, if you have any preference as to where you'd like to pull the ship into.
Can we know a bit about each pairing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where are bar?
Let me pull up the old... Your bar? Your bar is located...
my...
Now remember, the bar is actually plunder. So if you want to take it as an actual resource, you're going to have to lose a point of plunder. So your bar is actually located right here in the fancy part of town. It's that little brown structure right there.
Are you pinging? I don't see anything.
It could be... yeah, I'm on the GM layer, that's why. Boom. This little brown structure.
Thank you.
Let me pull up my Port Peril Gazetteer. So we have Crescent Harbor in the north. And let's see. So Crescent Harbor is like mixed together streets, smoky taverns, bloody alleys. Crescent Harbor is like every Pirates of the Caribbean movie you've ever seen. All right. So it's Tortuga right there. Everything's crazy. People are getting shot in the street all the time. There's just alcoholics roaming everywhere. There's a temple to Caden Kalian. They're specifically just to keep people kind of placated. And the next one is 8. The Eastern Docks over here. That is the Merchant Marina. That's where all the ships that are loading, unloading, anybody that's getting squibbed or something like that, that's where they're going to be at. There's not so much pirates over there. It's kind of a classier, more upscale area. Where is the keep? I'm pretty sure it's Area 5, but let's make sure. So, Lucrehold is the giant island here that's nothing but a super fortress. It's currently got catapults and ballistas, and you could see that there are actually signs outside that are like being upgraded by Alkenstar Gunworks. Cannons coming to you in the year 4715 Erodin. Like pardon our dust.
What year is it currently?
4714.
What month?
I actually know what month it is. The month is Kuthona 28th, 4714. Or as you might note, the current day. It's December 28th in game.
So, gotta take it fast before the cannons show up.
And the lower left-hand area, that's where most of the people that live in Port Peril, that's where like the residents and all the farmers come in from the southeast type area, that kind of stuff. So, that's like the suburbs.
I take in a deep breath as I say, I'm back home.
So where would you guys like to pull your ship into?
Where can we sell just these extra items?
Okay, we know that we need to find a collector for the platinum necklace. Aces, I know you were looking for people here. Do you have an idea of what part of town they would most likely be in?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be in the fancy district. This guy has a very fancy name. Esquire kind of leads to that.
Watermiss Rhododendron Esquire the Fourth?
Yes.
And do we have any idea about the pricing difference of docking in the fancy part of town versus the non-fancy?
There's no pricing difference. But you do need
Alright.
to pay a small fee, no matter where you go to have a harbor patrol ship dock you.
Well,
It's like Absalom.
Let's park near the bar then.
I thought there was a rule here. You had to go into this side of town for 3 days to cool off, and then you can come into main town.
That could be canonical for Galarian, but I have not read that yet.
No, just in another pirate game, every time we docked here, it's like, you gotta stay here to get out of your system before you go into town and cause crime.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it could be true.
Because I was always in the meat market, because I was a cook.
I don't know. So just here, from what I know, you guys are just paying like a 10 gold piece docking fee, and they send out a harbor patrol boat. It's basically just a tugboat that's got a ballista mounted on the back of it, and there are 2 half-orcs that are both crewing the ballista and guiding the boat in, and they're like, throw us your line! They've got like tusks coming out of their mouths, and they're wearing like red-coated uniforms of the Hurricane King. And they keep shouting for you guys to throw them the line.
I kind of touched my tusk, and it's like, why are mine so small?
I order whoever's on deck crew to throw them a line.
Okay. And who's paying the docking fee?
I look at the quartermaster.
I will pay it out of pocket.
Okay. All right.
We should start up like a ship's fund for stuff like this. Like a share.
So you guys land in the fancy part of town, and as you're unloading your ship and paying your one plunder out to your crew, an orc comes sauntering down the way, like deep green skin, enormous underfang jaw, the red coat of a servant of the Hurricane King, and he's also on his belt.
Well, hey.
Well,
So
The
he just
second
kind of
Nice.
hooks his
those aren't
thumbs into the
pistols.
belt.
Those are revolvers.
Yes,
I'd
they
like-
are rubber boxes.
I'd like to try to recognize him using.
Okay, knowledge local or knowledge nobility will actually work here.
Ooh.
Can I try both?
You can try one or the other. Either you do or you don't know.
Alright, I'll try local then.
So I don't see nobility there from Storms, from bottles.
Nope.
So I'm guessing that's a local. Okay, you've heard of this man. He is the Viceroy of Port Peril and captain of the flagship of the Shackles fleet flagship, the Filthy Lucre. He is Sadok Goldtooth. And he's kind of the right-hand man of Hurricane King Kredek Bonefist. It's also well known that he is intensely disliked by everyone. He is super corrupt and brutal. He is the commander of the Harbor Patrol, and the Harbor Patrol wear like shitty uniforms. All the money that should be going to like training and weapons goes to his pocket. He orders like random beatings of people on the street. Everything he does is basically keep the money flowing into the Hurricane King's pockets, and anything else that happens in Port Peril is everybody else's business. He doesn't give a shit.
Okay, I'm gonna whisper that to Commodore Ferris and like that whole,
Okay.
the whole, shebang about being the counselor, kind of being like, okay, this is the down low.
All right. When you get done, he is finally sauntered up to you, and he says, "I'm Sadok Goldtooth, captain of the flagship of the Shackles fleet and viceroy of Port Peril. Oh, I've heard of you lot. You think you're so clever, switching names, ships. Let me tell you, everyone knows who you are. Street urchins in Hell Harbor could point you out. You think you're ready to become free captains? Think again. Pathetic. You're like children dressed up to play pirates, just filling the roles." He, hits the side of your ship. He's like, "Is this your ship? 2 catapults, eh? I'm pretty sure one of my harbor defense boats could take you alone. Embarrassing. Have you ever tasted a real fleet battle? And what will you do when it comes? Can you even imagine a battle between a dozen ships? Where will you go when the scorching rays cut your tiller, leaving you adrift? A lightning bolt slices your sheets to ribbons. Fireballs exploding on your deck, killing dozens of men, leaving you undercrewed. A deck full of frost, like the icy void, and your ship slips beneath the water. For me, that's breakfast. Until you're prepared to defend yourselves from predators like these, you can hardly call yourselves free captains. Now, I'll give you a week to finish whatever business you have in my city. After that, go float along the edges of the trade lanes and pick off your crumbs. You stay here, and Barnabas Harrigan will track you down. I just have that feeling." Then he spits at Captain Ferris's feet and turns around and walks away. You guys doing anything before he goes?
I give Siegfried that nod.
I'm waiting on the signal.
I actually do have a halfway decent int score. I don't think that's a great plan.
I like how you worded that, too. I don't think it's a great plan.
It's not a completely, out there, not happening plan, but I don't think it's a good one. Sifrig will look to the captain, to the Commodore, shrug his shoulders.
Give the order.
Oh, do give Barnabas my love. His officers were easy enough to take down.
He kind of rolls his shoulders from behind and starts just laughing. He actually stops and doubles over. He's like, "Ha ha ha ha." Master Scourge.